them on sonar, Batman.
I don't know what I'm saying, but it sure sounds good.
Let's travel back to the Saturdays of old times when cartoons were the week's highlight.
And tonight is the night.
And according to my cuckoo watch, cuckoo, it's exactly midnight.
Kids in the 70s were hooked on these animated adventures that filled their imaginations. They weren't just shows, they were like magic doors to exciting places that made them dream big.
This is Batman,
And Robin, the Boy Wonder.
And me too, Batmite.
welcoming you to the new adventures of Batman.
Before Netflix and all, this is what entertained kids and teenagers.
Ooh, watch this.
Join us as we look at 13 forgotten cartoons from the 1970s that we want back.
Disposed of?
Well, if I'm going to be disposed of, I want to look my best.
Number 1. The Jackson 5. The Jackson 5 was a famous animated series that brought the music of the Jackson 5 to the world of cartoons.
The Dynamite Jackson 5.
The series was launched in 1971 by Rankin Bass Productions in collaboration with Motown Productions. The series was a colorful blend of songs and animated performances. The actual Jackson 5 also posed for the poster of the cartoon. It featured the voices of actors like Paul Frees and Donald Fullilove, who brought the show's characters to life with their versatile voice acting.
Buried treasure.
What?
You mean gold?
Jewels? Loot? Yeah, well, how about that?
The show was an immediate hit because of its tunes and colorful animations. It had millions of views, which made its popularity undeniable. It was loved by children worldwide. Each episode contained 2 musical performances by the Jackson 5 for the band's album. The show had 2 series with 23 episodes.
You know, we can't split up. And you know why? 'Cause we're a family, that's why.
Yeah, the Jack Ever-Loving Son.
The series aired until 1972 and was badly missed by people after it stopped broadcasting. It was aired again in 1984 when Michael Jackson was popular as a solo artist. The show contained 8 songs from Michael Jackson's albums in Season 2. The reason for the show's popularity was that it was not just about cartoons, but gave a tribute to the voice of Jackson 5. It had a huge fan following because of its musical touch. The unique idea of combining music with cartoons set a path for many shows in the future. It also showcased the imagination of the 70s cartoons that were truly unmatchable. Time to go into the fun world of Josie and the Pussycats, which was the perfect depiction of girl pop and stylish outfits. Number 2. Josie and the Pussycats. Josie and the Pussycats was an animated series created by Hanna-Barbera Productions in 1970.
I'm outnumbered 8-1.
Hurry, Melody. It's locked. Stand back. Now I've got an idea.
The show featured an all-girl pop music band consisting of lead vocalist and guitar Josie, drummer Melody, and bassist Valerie. The show was based on a comic book by Dan DeCarlo, also known by the same name. The stylish outfits of the characters made them an immediate icon of that era.
By the time you get back with the serpent, we'll have these toys rewired to fix his goose.
The inclusion of the first African-American character, Valerie, made the show noticeable, as Barbara Perriott voiced her. The voice cast included Janet Waldo as Josie and Jackie Joseph as Melody. The band's singing voice was by Kathy Doer for Josie, Patrice Holloway for Valerie, and Sherry Moore for Melody, who brought a lively energy to the characters. It wasn't only a musical show because it combined comedy, mystery, and adventure elements. As the band traveled the world, they solved crimes and fought villains. This blend of genres contributed to its widespread popularity, making it a hit among viewers of all ages.
Uh-oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, we made this scene before.
Let's get out of here.
The show consisted of 2 seasons with 32 episodes in total. Each episode of the show would show Pussycats on their way to performing a gig and somehow always getting involved in some adventure. All episodes showcased a mad scientist as a villain whose evil plans were always ruined by the gang before they finally get back to the gig. The show received great success in its first season, and it came back with a spin-off called Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space in 1972. The show was aired on 3 different networks for 6 years, with a running time of 30 minutes. The original series concluded in 1974, while the spin-off concluded in 1976. As we remember the legendary Harlem Globetrotters team, who recalls the awesome animated series featuring these real players? Number 3. The Harlem Globetrotters. Harlem Globetrotters was an animated series produced by Hanna-Barbera Productions that debuted in 1970. The show was based on the real basketball team of the same name, known for its skills. The series brought the entertainment of actual matches into the animation with the comedy genre. It went on for 2 seasons with 22 episodes. The show featured animated versions of the team members, including players like Meadowlark Lemon, Curly Neal, and Geese Osby. The voice cast was composed of talented actors, with Scatman Crothers providing the voice for Meadowlark Lemon, Stu Gillum for Freddie Curly Neal, and Johnny Williams for Osby, among others. Their voices brought an authentic feel to the characters.
Found a loophole in the rule. Either side can call for a picnic once a year, and the feuding must stop on that day.
Each episode followed the Globetrotters traveling around the world and getting involved in adventures. The series showed some local conflicts that the team's intervention would always solve. The team always won the match in the second half of the game. The series gave positive messages of teamwork, friendship, and fair play to the children. After the Harlem Globetrotters, the show introduced a spin-off version called the Super Globetrotters in 1979. In the spin-off, they added supernatural abilities to the team's players. The original series eventually concluded in 1973. In 1972, Golden Key Comics launched a comic book version of the show, typically based on the original episodes.
Big trouble, Meadowlark. Trouble? What kind of trouble can we be in on a beautiful day like this? Look.
The series had a significant impact, as it introduced the Harlem Globetrotters basketball team to a wider audience. The Harlem Globetrotters animated series is remembered as a classic, showcasing the team's skillful performances. Moving on to Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, a beloved show worldwide for its valuable lessons that parents adored. Number 4. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids was a popular animated series created by comedian Bill Cosby. It premiered in 1972 and was known for its educational content and social messages.
Hey, hey, it's Fat Albert, and I'm gonna sing a song for you.
The series was based on Cosby's childhood experiences in Philadelphia and aimed to teach valuable life lessons to the young audience. It was produced by Filmation Associates. The show featured Fat Albert, voiced by Bill Cosby and his friends, and was called the Junkyard Gang. Each episode dealt with various social issues such as bullying, honesty, and respect, ending with a famous line, "Hey, hey, if you're not careful, you may learn something before it's done." The series was liked for its diverse cast and ability to address complex issues. It also featured live action segments of Bill Cosby, further reinforcing the lessons learned. The show had 8 seasons and 115 episodes. It aired for over a decade, with its final episode in 1985. It also had a spin-off series, The New Fat Albert Show. In 2004, it also had a live-action film adaptation. In 1990, Cosby introduced another series called Little Bill. This show also promoted similar social messages.
You'll have some fun now with me and all the gang, learning from each other while we do our thing.
Despite the controversy surrounding Bill Cosby in later years, Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids remains a significant part of animation history, remembered for its positive impact and role in television promoting diversity and moral values. Up next is The New Adventures of Batman, a thrilling spin-off of the original series, packed with iconic villains and crime-fighting action. Number 5. The New Adventures of Batman. The New Adventures of Batman was an iconic superhero brought to the small screen in 1977. Produced by Filmation Associates, the show revived the Batman franchise. It offered a fresh take on Batman and his sidekick Robin's adventures. The show featured the voices of live-action Batman characters Adam West and Burt Ward, Batman and Robin respectively. The series also introduced a new character, Bat-Mite. He was an imp from another dimension who idolized Batman and often created more trouble than help with his magical powers. The series was famous for its adherence to the original comic book. It introduced various storylines with famous villains like the Joker, the Penguin, and Catwoman. The series also introduced lesser-known antagonists from the Batman comics. The show was popular for its action-packed episodes and representation of the Batman universe. It aired for one season with 16 episodes before ending in 1977.
Did you ever notice how fast time passes when you're having fun?
How about sharing the fun with us, Pussycat?
The series did not continue beyond its initial season, yet it remains a cherished part of Batman's animated legacy, remembered by fans for its portrayal of the Dark Knight and his adventures in Gotham City. Number 6. Hong Kong Phooey. Hong Kong Phooey first hit the airwaves in 1974 and was produced by the legendary Hanna-Barbera Productions. The show quickly became a favorite because of its unique blend of humor and action. The series features a mild-mannered janitor named Penrod Penry Pooch, who works at a police station. Penry leads a double life of a janitor and Hong Kong Phooey, who is a bumbling yet well-intentioned superhero. He fights evil with the help of his manual, The Hong Kong Book of Kung Fu, and his sidekick cat, Spot. The talented Scatman Crothers voices Hong Kong Phooey. He became famous for his catchphrase, Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy. The show's blend of humor and martial arts made it a hit among children and adults alike.
The words are, chow, chow, bow, wow, get me off this hook right now!
It aired for one season with 16 episodes, each featuring 2 stories. Despite being aired for only a year, it is one of the most famous series from Hanna-Barbera Production. The reruns continue to entertain new generations of viewers in various shows.
You see, I moved so fast, nobody saw me catch him. Not even me, the great Hong Kong Phooey himself.
Imagine all your superheroes in one single series. Next on our list is Super Friends, which surely made this happen. Number 7. Super Friends. Super Friends first premiered in 1973 and was produced by Hanna-Barbera Productions.
In the Great Hall of the Justice League.
The show brought famous DC comic book characters into one action-based animated series. It had famous characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and The Flash. The series taught children about teamwork, justice, and friendship as they fought against various villains and threats to humanity.
Great, Hera, look!
The Earth, it's gone. That's impossible.
The voice cast featured some of the popular voices of the industry, with Danny Dark as Superman, Olan Soule as Batman, Shannon Farnon as Wonder Woman, and Norman Alden as Aquaman. Their performances brought the characters to life.
We'd better get back to Earth fast. I'm sure we'll find the Legion of Doom up to its usual foul play.
It captivated viewers with its exciting storylines. The series went through various titles, such as the all-new Super Friends Hour, Challenge of the Super Friends, and Super Friends, the legendary superpower show. Each added new characters and elements to keep the series fresh and engaging. The series aired for 9 seasons with 174 segments. Super Friends aired for over a decade, with its final episode airing in 1986. It was a famous Saturday morning cartoon, but it's no longer airing.
I've got a riddle for you, Riddler. What has 13 heads and belongs in a cage, won't learn its lessons, and worsens with age?
Who doesn't remember the catchiest title track of all time? Number 8, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Scooby-Doo, Where Are You is a legendary series that first hit the screens in 1969. Joe Ruby and Ken Spears created it for Hanna-Barbera Productions. The show introduced the mystery-solving gang consisting of Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby-Doo. The series follows their adventures as they travel in their van, the Mystery Machine, and solve supernatural mysteries, which always turn out to be deceived by normal people.
When I say let go, let loose, and we'll drop down on the sofa. Go! Like this place is haunted. We let go, but we didn't fall.
Don Messick played the voice of Scooby-Doo, Casey Kasem of Shaggy, Frank Welker of Fred, Nicole Jaffe of Velma, and Stefania Christopherson as Daphne in the first season, followed by Heather North in the next seasons. It was an instant hit among audiences because of its unique blend of comedy, mystery, and adventure.
Makes me so mad.
Velma, you did it again.
What, lose my temper?
Yes, and found a way out.
The popularity of the show led to multiple spin-offs, and the show had 3 seasons with 25 episodes. The ratings of the show remained high throughout. The show was last aired in 1978, while the original series aired until 1970 only. The show also kept re-airing the previous episodes in between as well. The show's success made the Scooby-Doo franchise one of the longest-running and most popular animated series in television history. Today, the series is remembered because of its catchy song.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now.
Number 9. Speed Buggy. Speed Buggy was launched onto television screens in 1973. Joe Ruby and Ken Spears created it for Hanna-Barbera Productions.
Socket! Socket! Plugs!
Motor!
Tires! Chassis! Speed Buggy!
That's me.
The show centered around a dune buggy named Speed Buggy and his human companions, Tinker, Mark, and Debbie. Together, they race around the world, often encountering villains and difficulties along the way. The voice cast included Mel Blanc as the lovable Speed Buggy, Michael Bell as Mark, Arlene Galanka as Debbie, and Phil Luther Jr. as Tinker, who made the characters more lively and memorable. The show had 1 season of 16 episodes being produced and aired on CBS. The show took ideas from many other Hanna-Barbera lineups such as Scooby-Doo Where Are You? And Josie and the Pussycats. It was liked by some critics for its shared themes, while being widely criticized by others for being repetitive.
Who put the antifreeze in my carburetor?
Though the original series ended in 1974, after it was canceled, Speed Buggy continued to entertain audiences through reruns and has since become a joyful part of classic animation history. The show's concept of a talking car and the friendship among the main characters made the way for similar themed cartoons. Despite its relatively short original run, Speed Buggy remains a fondly remembered series from the golden era of Saturday morning cartoons. Number 10. The Pink Panther Show. The Pink Panther Show debuted on September the 6th of 1969 on NBC, created by David H. DePatie and Friz Freleng. The show featured the animated Pink Panther character from the opening credits of the live-action films. The series was produced by Mirish Films and DePatie Freleng Enterprises. It became known for its catchy theme music composed by Henry Mancini. The show consisted of 1 cartoon featuring the Inspector between 2 Pink Panther entries. The episodes were connected by sequences featuring both the Panther and the Inspector, with Marvin Miller acting as an off-camera narrator. The Pink Panther Show was known for its silent comedy, as the main character, Pink Panther, rarely spoke and relied on physical humor and visual acts. It ran for 2 seasons on NBC before moving to ABC in 1978. The series had a total of 190 episodes. It introduced several other animated segments, including The Ant and the Aardvark, Tijuana Toads, and Hoot Kloot. The original series ended in 1979. The Pink Panther character continued to appear in various spin-offs and new shows, including Pink Panther and Sons and The Pink Panther, the 1993 TV series. Its timeless humor and stylish animation continue to entertain new generations of fans. Now let's talk about Space Ghost, known for his amazing invisible powers and his incredible journeys through different worlds. Number 11. Space Ghost. Space Ghost, created by Hanna-Barbera Productions, was launched on television screens in 1966. It introduced audiences to a world where bravery and heroism shone brightly. Gary Owens voiced Space Ghost. Space Ghost, along with his teenage sidekicks Jan and Jace and their pet monkey Blip, fought against evil. They fought villains like Zorak, Brak, and the Creature King. These were not just battles, they were epic sagas. The series had one season with 20 episodes.
The thing's right on our tail, Space Ghost.
Jace, keep the ghost ship on full power. I've got to go out and stop it.
Right, Space Ghost.
Each episode showcased various abilities of Space Ghost. He unleashed devastating energy beams with his power bands, while his invisibility belt helped him become invisible during the fights. He also had the power to travel through universes. Space Ghost concluded in 1967. The character made a return to the 1994 series Space Ghost Coast to Coast, where he took on a new role as a talk show host. This twist breathed new life into the character and introduced him to a new generation. Number 12. The Banana Splits Adventure Hour. The Banana Splits Adventure Hour blended live action and animation and premiered in 1968. It was produced by Hanna-Barbera Productions and featured the Banana Splits, a fictional rock band composed of 4 costumed animal characters: Fleagle the dog, Bingo the ape, Drooper the lion, and Snorky the elephant. The show was structured with the Banana Splits hosting live action and animated segments. Notable animated segments included the Arabian Nights and the Three Musketeers. The live action segment, Danger Island, was a cliffhanger serial that added an element of adventure. It ran for 2 seasons, totaling 31 episodes, before ending on September the 5th of 1970. The show remained popular from 1970 to the 80s as well because of the existing episodes that were still premiered on various channels. The characters remained iconic figures in pop culture, and the show is fondly remembered for its colorful and whimsical aesthetic. In 2019, the Banana Splits were reimagined in a completely different genre with the release of the Banana Splits movie. It was a horror film with a darker twist on the beloved characters. Despite this new interpretation, the original The Banana Splits Adventure Hour continues to be celebrated for its unique blend of music, comedy, and adventure. Number 13. The Herculoids. The Herculoids debuted on CBS in 1967. Created and designed by Alex Toth, the show was produced by Hanna-Barbera Productions. It featured a unique blend of science fiction and fantasy. The series was set on the distant planet Amzot, later renamed Quasar in the Revival series.
All strong, all brave, all heroes. They're the Herculoids.
The story centered around the barbarian family Xandor, his wife Terra, and their son Dorno, who fought alongside their giant alien pets, the Herculoids. The Herculoids included Zoc, a laser-firing dragon, Igu, a rock ape with incredible strength, Tundro, a 10-legged horned rhinoceros, and the shape-shifting duo Gloop and Gleep. The Herculoids originally aired for 1 season with 18 episodes, each featuring 2 11-minute segments. The show's storytelling was rooted in action, with the family and Herculoids fighting an array of villains such as robots, mad scientists, and alien invaders. The story had very limited dialogue, relying completely on visual storytelling and sequences. The Herculoids gained a cult following and was later revived in 1981 as part of the Space Star series, producing an additional 11 episodes. The characters' distinct designs and the show's imaginative setting have impacted the science fiction and animation genres.